Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is February 28th, 2023. Lance Brock here to talk some pro wrestling today. And first, I just want to send a birthday shout out to one-time co-host of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, Tony. It's been quite a while since he has been the co-host, but last year he did make a special one-time appearance, which was right after AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts, right here in Detroit for the show right after. Hopefully everyone has heard that episode. If not, you can go back right here on Spreaker or anywhere else you listen to the podcast and check that out. So today is Tony's birthday, and I wanted to talk about a show that took place on his birthday, February 28th, 2015, which this was one of the first shows I thought of that was on his birthday, but unfortunately he did not attend. Unfortunately, he was not able to make this show, and it is Clash Wrestling. Clash to the Future 8, I believe, or 6. I take that back. Or no, wrong about that too. It's Clash to the Future Part 7. My mistake. And like I said, unfortunately, Tony was not able to make this show. Very good show though. I was there. And like I said, this is just the first show that I know took place on Tony's birthday, so I decided to talk about this one today. Clash Wrestling Clash to the Future Part 7, which was the show before Seize the Day, where in the main event, which is a show that Tony did attend. He was there at that one. The main event being a steel cage match for the Clash Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Dragon Greed and GQ Gavin Quinn, which is actually the main event for tonight's episode, for the show I'm talking about today. So let's get into it. It took place live from Taylor, Michigan, at the Taylortown Trade Center, February 28th, 2015. And this was a pretty good show, I thought. Clash Wrestling was always a good show. I know if you're one of the local fans here in the Taylor, Michigan area, I'm sure you're familiar with Clash Wrestling. And let's get on to the card. In a three-way match, Caveman Elk defeated Dave Manzo and Dave Miller, three of the top guys in Clash Wrestling history right there. And I'm sure if you used to listen to the podcast Clash Wrestling 360, hosted by the other Lance Brock, who has not been seen in years. I don't know where that other Lance Brock is right now, but as well, I'm sure you know, good, very close with the Caveman Elk. They were known as the Beard Brothers at one time. And he appeared, of course, appeared on Clash Wrestling 360 many times, as well as Dave Manzo also appeared a few times when he was teaming with Wrecking Ball Randy Casey as the team Swag Ball, which that Lance Brock did come up with the name. I don't know if he ever got credit for that or not, though, but he did. He's the one who actually did come up with that. MJ Miller, definitely one of the great Clash champions in Clash Wrestling history. And now the Clash Tag Team Championships are on the line as we have the Clash at the time being represented by Cameron Sky and Tommy Tresnick, defeating the Midnight Society, Maserati Rick, and Usama Lion. Very good match here. I thought two great teams that at the time were a part of Clash Wrestling, and Tresnick and Sky still are, I believe. And this one, to go back to the other Lance Brock at the time, was a supporter of the group, the Clash. So this is just before he ended up siding with the Caveman Elk and formed the Beard Brothers. And then it was the next show after this, I believe, is when after this match, I'm guessing, or that Clash went through the Clash to the Future time machine, and the next show they came back as the H3RD from the future. So this, I want to say, was the last Clash event with the Clash as a part of it, I believe. And we have a three-way match with the big man Brutus Dillon defeating Great Akuma and Juan Hato. Two big men and two kind of smaller guys in this one. It was a pretty good match, though. And at the time, Brutus Dillon was the bodyguard of Dragon Greed. Greed is good. Was a big fan of that faction at the time, actually. Dragon Greed, Brutus Dillon, and Belvedere. And for some reason, I'm forgetting a name. Evan Craig. That's right. I was going to say I could picture his face, but I could not picture I could not think of his name for some reason. Evan Craig. And some women's action next here at Clash to the Future. Leah Von Dutch taking on Taylor Hendricks. And I thought this one was a good match. And if you know your history of 360 Wrestling Fanatic, Leah Von Dutch was the very first guest that I interviewed on an episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic right after a Clash Wrestling show. That was a very good match, like I said. And I don't know if it was this show, but I'm pretty sure I did have Taylor Hendricks on for an interview once, I believe. And next up, we have Justin Main, who is also on 360 Wrestling Fanatic in the past, defeating Idris Abraham and Marty Jannetty, making another appearance for Clash Wrestling. I want to say this could have been his second or third, I believe, making his return. Actually, a very good match here, I thought. Justin Maine, definitely a great talent in the ring. Former Clash champion. And like I said, has been on 360 Wrestling Fanatic in the past. And in the main event of the evening, in a street fight for the Clash Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, we have Dragon Greed taking on GQ Gavin Quinn. Gavin Quinn, who won the championship at Seize the Day last month in the steel cage match. Unfortunately, lost the title to Dragon Greed in this street fight. Very good. These two had a very good feud, had some good matches where they faced each other over the Clash Championship. I know I haven't talked about Clash Wrestling in quite a long time here on 360 Podcasts or 360 Wrestling Podcasts. Like I said, I wanted to start talking more about Michigan Indies here, so hopefully we'll start talking about more of them soon, not just Clash, but hopefully. So that was Clash to the Future Part 7 from 2015. Once again, happy birthday, Tony. And that's all for this episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. Hope everyone tuning in enjoyed it. And hope everyone has a great Tuesday. Hope everyone enjoys WWE NXT tonight. Stay tuned for more episodes of 360 Wrestling Fanatic. And we'll be back tomorrow for the Wednesday episode of GMWF. Until then, keep watching pro wrestling.